Morning, everybody. Nate Mullen, aka the Illuminator. I'm here going to take you through a thought process of how we just finished a 180 light lighting job. So we're going to show you some tips, tricks, some design philosophy, and what our thought process is as we manipulate through the yard. So first of all, nobody wants 180 lights. Let me tell you that. So we do what we always do is we came over, we demoed about 50 or 60 lights. And then what we did is ultimately sold 3 60 light jobs. So we ended up doing 3 different phases because, obviously the homeowner was expecting 30 lights, so it goes from 30 lights to almost 200. So you can imagine that it's probably 7, 8, 9 times what their budget was. So we had to just sit there and do 3 60 light jobs, and the homeowners are absolutely ecstatic. So you always want to start from different sight lines and from where your viewpoints are. And as you navigate through the property, there's going to be things that change. So for here, we want to identify the pillars. This is the entrance of the home. So of course we side light the corners of the pillars. We backlight the trees so the trees don't compete with the pillars, and it becomes the focal point. And then as we navigate and pass through the pillars, then we start having a new focal point, which of course is going to be the house. So the house is going to be very consistent in the outdoor lighting. We light up the second story, we light up the roofs, and there's quite a few fixtures there. Well, as we walk, we'll kind of show you where the placement is. We also like to add some visual stimulation to a home, and I love lighting trees, but a lot of times we will add a different dimension and dynamic into a tree. So we have a fixture called the Enchanter, which we totally love, and we take these baskets, put artificial flowers in, put lights up onto the top, and it really gives you some good visual stimulation. And we just kind of throw the stuff like that in as a surprise to the homeowner, and they just literally love it. They sit down in these chairs over here, gives them some type of an anchor point where they can look at, and then you backlight all these trees, so there's nothing competing with the home. Now when you get into pine trees, like we have this pine tree over here in the corner, extremely difficult to light up through the pines because it's thick. So what you have to do is you have to place lights on the outer rim, on the outside of the tree, and then you cascade the light up onto the outside of it so it captures the outer leaves and the structure, and then it kind of shadows it, almost like what nature's doing right now. So you can see the interaction of the light, and you can see that it's silhouetted. There's shadows, negative, positive spaces, and that's what we try to do at night. So a lot of times, let the natural sunlight be a guide to you on how you're going to light up plants and different things. So when you look at lighting, and this is really a great example of it, how the light is filtering through these trees, there's a lot of interaction, depth, dimension. When the light is absolutely front forward, like it is on those 3 trees right over there, you can see they're flat. There's no detail that's being revealed. There's no negative and positive spaces. So you can see the drastic difference between how the sun interacts with these plants. So let's continue on. When we light up a home like this, obviously we make a decision. Do we light it up from the ground? Do we light it up from underneath? So in here, we decided to go ahead, light it up from under the eave. And yes, you have to be careful that, yes, when you light up a home and there's a lot of ugly stuff on the side of it, like we're looking at meter panels, telephone junction boxes, all kinds of stuff, you really have no choice. So what we do is we'll anchor this corner right here. We come skip, we have to be symmetrical, so we put a light on here, we put a light over there, we put a light over there. And then we kind of obviously downplay the ugly stuff. Then of course, we want to come over, we want to be consistent, we want to get lights over here so it's easy to get a light there. We have a concrete, so it's difficult, so we went ahead and we put a light up there under the eave. And you can see up here how we've incorporated the whole second story. Most contractors, they discount lighting up the second stories, and it's extremely important to light up the second stories, and you want to be very consistent of how you're going to light it up because the light will put a pattern on the wall, so you want it to be consistent. Then the other thing that we did is we came in here under this trellis, and so we took, there's so many things that we can do with our new fixtures, and you can see that we came up with a wall bracket, and we're able to sit there and take the different, put a shorter shroud on it, take the knuckle off and put a wall bracket on it, and we're allowed to do really trick installs like we did on that beam. So we threw the frame in on each side of it for the garage door, which kind of left a gap right here. So we actually took our wall sconce and we turned it sideways, and it gives a great pattern, B pattern, that comes out linearly over the door. So as we walk over here, we sat there and incorporated the bank. We got lights over here on the sidewalk, and you'll notice that these fixtures, right? The way these fixtures are is that we're able to, as maybe things land on them or they get moved, the gardener, we can easily just adjust the top back if they get knocked out of place. The other things we do, because we're in California, we have a lot of birds, we actually put a clear spike, a little finial on top, and that you can see these have been in for about 6 or 7 months, give or take, and there is no bird crap on the top of it. Now, because we're at an elevation here, so when I step back, you'll notice that normally my line of sight, I will be looking into a glare bomb, but we came up with a thing called the blinder, and it's a little shield that covers from our viewpoint the light bulb. So there is zero glare from our light fixtures. So it's a good way to incorporate a bank or a slope, which are usually very, very difficult to do. So it acts, so we're able to have this lighting bridge that comes all the way across that makes it cohesive from the front yard to the backyard. Now, I always want to lead people to the front door. It's one of my rules. So what we need to do is, this is a very typical front door. There's concrete, there's sidewalks, it's an alcove here. It's very difficult to get our lights in. So what we do is we come back in here and we will put a light up behind something like this. Now, we had the homeowner add these pots, add these are artificial, add these topiaries. We got a fixture right here. Now it lights up the alcove, looks super good. Homeowners love it. And then how we get the wire in is, you can see we run copper pipe, okay? And you can see now it's tarnishing up, it's bronzing, it looks good, and it's such a key thing. And I don't care if you're putting in 30 lights, 60 lights, or 200 lights, there's always a percentage of fixtures, right, whether it's 3 or 10 or 12, that really makes the lighting look outstanding. So that's a thing that we do on every job. As we walk through the gate here, obviously from the front, we front lit these, but we hold them off so we graze it. So it kind of anchors down here through visual direction. As we walk through the back. Now, I'm going to tell you, you need to be observant when you're walking and you're looking at jobs. And I really don't care what the homeowner says when you start asking questions about, well, do you use the side or do you use this? Well, if they haven't had lighting, of course they don't use all their property, because without light, there's no usability of space. So when I look at a home like this, I look at, oh my God, they love their property. They got chairs everywhere. They got outdoor cabanas. They got all kinds of stuff. So these are slam dunks for me, to where I'm going to sit there and be able to sit there and blow their mind when it comes to lighting. Now, when you look at these pillars, because I always do have what's in the best interest of the homeowner, you can see that we side lit these pillars from this angle, because there's really no view from the other side to put 2 lights and add, so I'd be an extra 2 lights on the pillars over there, because that's just navigation coming back. But now you're sitting in the cabana over here. I do have a great perspective when I sit in the cabana looking backwards. So I really wanted to highlight those pillars and light up the corners like that. So of course we've incorporated the whole house all the way consistently, all the way around from the ground. We use those high area lights, as you can see one right there. Those lights really give you, will cast light out to about here. So a 36-inch pass light will give you 12, 14 feet. So instead of using the conventional mindset of a stupid 18-inch pass light, that would be right here, which just puts hot concentric circles on the ground, we take it, we highlight the existing shrubbery. It's almost like moonlighting from this elevation, and then it casts light onto the sidewalk, so we get a double whammy. So as we go into the cabana, you're going to see what we did is I wanted to make sure that from the view from the inside of the cabana, we put our guardsmen up here at a higher elevation, so it really takes up into the canopy, and we don't have to worry about their dogs are everywhere. If we would have conventionally put them down here into the ground, they would have got knocked over by the dogs. We have to be conscious of where our fixtures are going to live. And again, from this view looking backward, you can see we have, again, the higher area lights onto the bank. Of course, there's no glare because of the use of the blinder. We walk into the cabana here. A couple things we did here is a lot of people, because they have existing light, nobody ever thinks about the cabana because they have existing lights. The problem with those lights are task orientated, they're super bright, even though you put them on a dimmer, it's really stupid. They're not conducive to relaxation. So we'll come in here, and we always put lights behind furniture and in corners, behind pots, and you can see we took our it's really our Sentinel, we put it on a medallion base, it's white, we took white wire, we silicone it into the corner so it blends in, you can't even see it, and it lights up the walls, and we got one here, one in that corner, one in that corner, and it just looks unbelievable. Now, the other thing that we had to do, because I believe in matching and I believe in my rules of proportion, where things have to be consistent. So what we did over here, because I have a barbecue and a countertop, but I need to light the wall up to match the left side, I took our wall-mounted fixture, I put it on a magnet, right? So it's magnetically held in place, so she can move this and clean back here. So she was super excited about that, and this again is our Sentinel short with a wall bracket. And of course I did the same thing on that side. So it matches everything perfect, it looks good, it's cleanable, right? So we're always thinking about future considerations. So that's what we did here in the cabana. We got the homeowner to put in some wall sconces with candles. We're really big into candles anymore. And I really love battery operated ones. They don't make a mess and they flicker. You can put them on timers now internally, and we use candles all the time. Now I want to make sure that, but I want to show you real quick of how we were able to run this wire. Actually, I'll just show you on this side through the back, because obviously logistically you got to do two things. When you come up with your design philosophy of where you're going to put a fixture, it's like, well, how am I going to get to that fixture? So we do a lot of different things when it comes to trick install. Make sure there's no snakes. That would cut this video really short. I'll grab this buck club here. So we'll take a lot of times, we'll just take white PVC pipe, and you can see we drilled through the wall here. That gets to that one. We drilled through the wall here. That gets to that one. And then we just run real clean pipe. Super organized. It looks super good. Very professional. And on our vans and lighting trucks, we just have these kits. We have all the material ready. All right, so 25, 30 years ago, I learned that when we're on a job, just in the exact situation, to where, how am I going to get light around this area? Now, I'm not going to use a stupid area light, something that's tall. I can't go from elevation because it would be blinding. So I started thinking, well, pots will be my best friend. So I'm going to tell you, probably on over 90% of the jobs I've ever done, I have the homeowner buy pots. I already showed you the two at the front door. Well, we had homeowners. We added these two pots right here. So we like big pots. I get them to get these little miniature lime trees, orange trees, lemon trees, and then we come in and we hang a little light right up here. And this is called the hanging skylar with a little short shroud on it, okay? So then we hang it in the tree. It beautifully lights up the greenery of the tree and then casts light, almost like moonlighting, all over the sidewalk. So we did that here and we did that over there. The bank is lit with the trees. It's got a good viewpoint, especially from these lounge chairs, but they hang out all the time over there in that furniture over there next to that water feature. So we just walk back through here. Because this is an archway, they just really command attention. They look really good, even though there's nothing back there but really pool equipment. It just looks good at night. It just adds a lot of, we like to call it a little visual sub-scene. So it looks really good. You can light it from the outside or you can light it from the inside. Really depends on what the plant is very conducive on where the plant is going to be. We uplight the tree. You'll notice that it's lit strategically. We call it striping. This is done for the view from over there, okay? And then from that view over there, because it's front lit from that view, it becomes a higher intensity of light. So we walk down here and you can see that we've incorporated, well, this is, last time I was here, there was bushes. So there was a beautiful bush, kind of like that one. So it was strategically placed in the bush. That is placed behind that palm right there. So it's shadows, it comes through and shadows it just beautiful, almost like the sun's doing right now under the grass. So again, we strategically place these high area lights in groups of plants in different settings to enhance the yard at night while providing safety and security. We came in and we put lights under the eave around the whole house, so the whole house is incorporated. It provides safety, security. It looks so good. Lit these jacaranda trees up, and then come in here again. We put another little light into here, right, into this miniature little apricot tree, and incorporated the home again from under the eaves. Ponds lit. Put up the bistro lights, so it gives us some atmosphere and some entertainment and some fun. Up there, the flag poles lit. That massive palm tree up there is lit. We side lit the cypresses, and that's really about it. We're probably going to come back and do phase 4 and 5, and that's going to go out into the yonder back 40 over there into the oak trees, and we're going to do a lit pathway that connects their home to their neighbor's home. But it was a great lighting project. We're really happy. Homeowners are happy. And I hope you enjoyed, get something out of this. Remember, lifetimelightingsystems.com, and thanks for paying attention.